And we're live! Welcome to the Crafty Boys, where we drink beer and talk about stuff because we're awesome! Welcome, everybody. This week is another week where we are drinking beer from Saskatchewan. And this beer... Saskatchewan. And this week we are drinking beer from Nokomis Craft Ales, the brown ale specifically. And for those who don't know, Nokomis is in the middle of nowhere.
It's in Nokomis, Saskatchewan.
It's in Nokomis, Saskatchewan, I'll show you what I mean by the middle of nowhere. This is where it is located. Let's zoom out a little bit more. All right, a little more. There we go. So there's Regina and Saskatoon. This is Nokomis. Apparently, population about 200 or 500, one of the two. And Nokomis is located right here. They apparently moved from Vancouver to Saskatchewan in order to access something about the water in Nokomis. There's something about the water. It's apparently amazing. Take that as you will, but apparently the water's awesome, and it makes for great beer. Which
it's
I
probably
gotta say,
a lot
I'm never
cheaper
gonna
to operate there too. I would imagine.
Oh yeah. Well, it's average house price in Nokomis. Last time I checked, was about 40 to 60,000.
Well, it's kind of similar with Gladstone Brewing, which was
so that's what this beer looks
Victoria.
like. It's very. This glass sucks. Hey, Peanut Gallery, you have beer here waiting for you. If you want this beer before I drink it, I have a special glass this week. It's a little tiny one. But anyway, the beer is very nutty, very malty, very yummy. I've had this beer before, full disclosure, and I'm going to have it now.
I don't know what you think, Shane, but I would class this sort of somewhere. It's not quite an ESB. It's like an ESB with just a dash of a sort of a nut brown ale, you know?
I agree. It actually reminds me of the original Bomber Brewing ESB, which I found very nice. This one has more of a malty, maybe nutty kind of flavor to it.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the Rail Ale, Nut Brown Ale from House Sound Brewing.
Really?
Yeah.
The only one I've had other than this is the Naramata. Can't remember who does that one.
Who does the Naramata? I want to say it's Cannery.
Cannery? That sounds right, actually.
But I'm not sure. Can we fact check that?
What about Sleeman? Do they do one?
They do a honey brown ale, which is actually really good.
One of their,
I want to point something out to you boys. Last year, myself and the other half had a chance to purchase this piece of land right here. This chunk of land here in Nokomis, complete with the old curling rink. And of course, if you turn around, there's Saskatchewan. But I wanted to point out one redeeming piece about this, because this land was really damn cheap. But if you turn right here, there's another piece of land right next door.
Yeah.
But that's not the important piece. The important piece is that this is the Nokomis Brewery now.
Oh, well.
So I would have been a landowner right here.
Next to a brewery.
A block away from a brewery. So I just wanted to point that out. This is one of the reasons I actually know about the Nokomis Brewery is that we were doing a bit of research as to whether or not it would be a good idea to buy this piece of land.
So how big is the Nokomis brewery? Like, are they? I can't imagine in such a small community such as Nokomis that they are like doing a lot of like people coming in and doing growler fills and stuff. It must be stuff through the Saskatchewan liquor distribution system. However, they do it there.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're I saw them everywhere when I was in Saskatchewan in July.
Okay.
You couldn't not see them. They have like about 5 or 6 sort of standard beers that they have. But Nokomis Craft Ales, they have. Unfortunately, their website has all of their images are broken. I don't know why, but essentially, they have established themselves in this space, and they call themselves like a small brewery, like a small batch brewery. So they're not necessarily pumping out like 900 hectoliters a day, but they are, if that's even an amount of beer. But essentially, they're making enough that you will see them in the Saskatchewan liquor stores and that kind of stuff. So, and I saw them in multiple places when I was there. So they were not hard to find. As a matter of fact, I think in the beer that I gave you guys, there's actually another one. There's the Nokomis IPA, which we have to try maybe not next week, but in a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think we should make a comparison of that too, because I enjoy that one as well. So
Now,
yeah.
Draw your attention to something.
Yes.
This is an absolutely smooth and, as you say, a malty, not overly sweet, flavorful and really well-rounded beer. Would you have guessed going into it that it had wheat in it?
No, not at all.
Look at the ingredients.
Really?
Mm-hmm. They've done something kind of sophisticated here, and I'm not sure quite what they've done, but they've somehow taken 2 grains and used one to sort of finesse the other into something that's smoother than usual.
It's highly unusual. I mean, I don't get how that would actually work, but I'm kind of interested to know more.
Well, it seems like they're filling out the sort of the, like, your typical sort of darker ale. It's going to have that sort of, I mean, the malt might be, it might be a lot of things. It might be toasted, but ultimately the flavor of the malt is going to do a lot to capture sort of the grainy, bready sort of characteristics. Here, there's nothing that's really cereally.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's just this sort of. But there's nothing in it that indicates me the sort of that brightness that you normally expect from a wit beer, or any of that, right?
I can see that. By the way, I just wanted to point this out. Cheers from Nelson Island.
Nice.
From friend of the show, Julian.
Look at that. He's using emoticons.
I know. He is really, how shall I say, motivated to be modern. He's not an old retired guy. He knows what the power of an emoticon can do. So,
Well, he has to. It's on millennials.
And that's the show, everyone. Good night. But I would never have guessed there was weed in this. Was my whole point.
No, me neither.
I don't taste
but
it
I'm
at all.
really enjoying it. This is really well rounded. It's easy drinking,
I mean,
flavorful. Everything about it, I can't say anything that's bad about it.
What do you think, Dave? I'm curious as to what you think.
I'm not minding this. It doesn't sound like I'm enjoying it as much as you guys are. I guess for me, it's a little on the bitter.
Really?
Yeah.
However,
I could have it go further in that direction. So the fact that we've got the bookend here on that opinion is interesting.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Having said that, enjoying it. And again, it's always cool to try out the different stuff that's going on out there, right? Regardless of what it is, it's interesting to see what people are doing.
Yeah.
And it's always going to be better than name your your $2 can.
So Julian wants somebody to say something bad about it. So
all right,
I will say,
this beer, I can't get it in BC.
That's what I was
the hell? Damn it! I mean, here's the thing: is that it's a decent beer. It's quaffable. It is something that is not offensive. It doesn't have anything in it that is screaming strangeness. You know, like
which is
not trying to make it a coffee brown ale or something. It's just it is a brown ale. And we threw a little weed in for some reason.
It's potentially its downfall is that it's not exciting enough.
Yeah,
it makes up so much for that with the fact that it's got this sort of quiet composure that is rare nowadays in the craft brewing scene. Like,
it's not blue. It's not made of kelp. It's not trying to over sour your brain.
But if you had $15 in your pocket to spend on a 6-pack, would you be buying a 6-pack of this or Fat Tug?
You know, to be honest, it would depend on the time of day, and it would depend on if I'd had a Fat Tug the day before.
Okay.
This is the kind of beer that you can have in a business lunch and not botch the deal.
Oh.
Okay.
Boring girlfriend of beer.
Okay, so going on that, this one here, yes, maybe wearing a Mickey Mouse sweatshirt while washing your hair on a Saturday night, and maybe the wildest thing that they've ever done is, I don't know, paint their nails black or something. I don't know. I can't think of anything.
And they once thought about getting a tattoo, but didn't.
They once thought about getting a tattoo, but then they giggled and covered their mouth and was like, "Yeah, no, I'm just joking." But it's stable. It's brown,
stable,
flat, and boring. No, I don't know.
I give it more than that. This way, and at the end of the day, I mean. Like all of these, if we're playing girlfriend metaphors, this one is this one's a little bit to the north of cute. Like she's not just cute, she's pretty, like
yeah.
So maybe not the most exciting personality you ever met. She's not gonna roofie you and show you a night that you'll spend years in therapy trying to forget. No,
she's pretty, but would never wear
not the most exciting personality you ever met, but pretty.
Yeah,
very pretty.
Well, here I just went to their Instagram. So small batch brewed in Nokomis, followed by Strange Fellows, by the way. Ooh. But I wanted to point this out. Check this out. So this is from a couple weeks ago. 4 new mixed fermentation bottle releases hitting shelves. Saskatchewan, Alberta. Vitamin C barrel-aged sour with sea buckthorn berries. I don't even know what those are. Barrel-aged sour red ale. A barrel-aged sour with Saskatoon berries. And a barrel-aged sour with sour cherries. Blended from 24-month aged barrels. Jesus. Wow, that's awesome. But... so they are doing, the whole point of that is they are doing interesting things. So
yeah. Although sours are kind of it ain't the piper.
It ain't the piper. But I'm just saying that they are doing interesting things. But their standard regular tap stuff that they stick in cans
is
decent It's repeatable, and it might be boring, according to Julian, but it might not be, as Locke was saying, it's not as boring as you think.
So Julian needs to put his money where his mouth is. What is the Piper of beers in his?
Yeah, tell us what the Piper of beers
mind.
is. Yeah,
we'll wait
I want to
for
know
his response. One thing that I will say, and this can maybe, if we're done talking about this beer in particular, Superflux in Vancouver is having an event this coming up weekend, kind of like their own little mini beer fest thing. And they're actually making Superflux soft serve ice cream. So it's soft serve ice cream that's got beer in it, like in it.
So when you say soft serve ice cream, have they taken beer and added it to ice cream, or have they taken beer and frozen it like a smoothie?
Well, they didn't specify how they did it, but they showed a picture of this thing, and it looked like, like soft serve ice cream in a cup with a spoon and everything. It didn't look like a slushy. It looked like the consistency of ice cream.
Huh. Okay.
Now, I don't know how they did it. I don't know what, but
they make a barley wine.
Yeah, I might need to try that.
In combination with Pilo Bones.
The thing is, how are we going to get it?
Hey, man, I got connections.
You got connections?
Yeah.
Hey, Allie, your dad's going to have to go to the liquor store and mail us a bunch of beer.
Now, that one was in conjunction with Pile of Bones.
Yes, it was.
Now, Pile of Bones, do we have something from them?
We might. Because
was
they
Pile
are
of Bones at Beer Fest.
Yes, they were. I don't remember. Yeah, I'm going to go to the fridge. I'll be right back.
Okay, Shane's going to go to the fridge, and he's going to look to see if we have a Pile of Bones beer waiting to be done over the next couple of weeks. This is gripping entertainment right here.
We do. It's the white IPA. Yeah. You guys should have it.
Okay, all right, nice.
Well, maybe we'll do that one next week.
So, yeah, I mean, you were saying.
I don't remember what I was saying.
Or not. All right, then. Oh, wait a second. Here we go. The Piper of beers. Color and shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, so guess what they're Julian, guess what they're serving in Toronto at the Craft downtown on Yonge Street? Boom, color and shape.
Oh,
nice. Absolutely.
It's now a nationwide beer.
Now, I mean, color and shape. I don't know if that's the best beer that Superflux has to offer. It's good. I mean, all of Superflux's stuff is awesome, but I don't know if I'd pick color and shape as being their best. But it's pretty good.
What would you consider to be their best if color and shape is not it? Oh, well, here we go. Wicked Smart from Red Truck, which they no longer make, sadly.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Fat Dog.
Yes.
I did one on the show, and I'm trying to remember what it was called. And I can't remember.
I'm waiting.
I don't remember what it was.
Oh, darn.
But it wasn't color and shape. Oh, wait, we've done color and shape. But it was before that. I did another one. It was a limited release. It was so good. So
from
good. From Superflux.
Really?
Yeah.
Julian has chimed in. Of course, it is definitely their best.
Well,
which
Julian's
that it's decent.
It is good.
What was the?
It's good.
But there was another. Now, hey Julian, if you remember, there was another one that came out before Color and Shape. That I cannot remember the name to. That I thought was slightly better. And I remember that. Crap.
You know what? You know who had so that Irish pub near your place, Shane, the one that if you walk down to Maine, they had happiness,
right.
Superflex happiness on tap at one point.
Yes, they did. Yeah. We've actually had that a couple times.
I mean, it's
they don't make it anymore.
Your happiness.
Happiness is good. There was definitely color and there was a beer before Color and Shape that was incredibly good. Now I'm not saying it was better than Color and Shape, but my brain says it was. When I think about it, I just cannot remember the name of it, and they no longer make it. It was Super Color and Shape has taken over. But there was one that I really enjoyed. I cannot remember what the hell the name of it was back in the day. Now, Dave, from a non-IPA lover's perspective, we're talking about beers that are really heavy in hops. Now, if you remember beer that you've had in the last 5 years, that was similar to like this brown ale, what would your top have been?
Oh man.
All of these Superflex beers are regurgitations of Color and Shape. There you go, Locke. Julian has spoken.
It was Velvetone.
Velvetone?
Sounds good.
And it sounds like their shtick. Like what Superflex do that nobody else does quite to the same standard is they manage to create a density of a hop emulsification that's like an epoxy, except that it's not going to turn into a fixed solid. But there's something about it it's like this density of flavor and flavors such that you are inclined to have it bleed over into other sensory experiences like Color and Shape.
This might be true. Our brains have been infected by the hops we love.
Yeah. But there's something about it that it's not just like it's leafy green in its hoppiness. It's like
Julian has what he said before. A lot of the Color and Shape beer has a really, as he said, a very bizarre hop schedule where the crazy hopping schedule, that there is no end of hops in terms of the beer that Superflex makes, which is great because it makes for interesting product. Massive amounts of whirlpooled hybrid hops. So, if we could master, the Crafty boys could master the brewing, and we could go after Superflux, imagine the amazing beer we could make. All four of us here that know very little about brewing, we can take the world by storm. We could go and create an amazing line of beer. But what is the first name of the first beer that we create? Let's first, actually, to help us out, let's pick a style first.
Well,
What would be
I
the
think
first
the
beer off
first
the-
one.
off
I
the
actually
can?
thought about this recently, and I came up
Okay.
with the perfect name for our first beer. So
All
our
right.
first beer would be an IPA, and we call it Dave Hates This.
Initially I was about to respond negatively to that idea, and then I thought about the marketing potential, and actually that would sell. People would
It
want
really
that.
would.
Well,
Yeah.
I could see the commercial right away, like on TV or on the internet. You could have a commercial where you could almost emulate the "Hey, Mikey, he likes it," where it could just be Dave, like standing there with a can of beer. He's out in a field somewhere, and he just opens it up and he goes, throws it on the ground, and then
bitter
walks
beer
off frame.
face.
It's too hoppy for Dave.
Not everyone is a hophead. That's okay. It's too hoppy for Dave.
Thank
But
you,
not
Julie.
The label would just be a picture of Dave doing this.
This beer sucks. Okay, what's beer number 2? What style? What style of beer would be the second? An IPA first?
Yeah, an IPA first, and I think you got to go with like a Pilsner or something like that.
Okay, now what is this Pilsner called? Like, what is it? What is special about it?
Oh gosh, really? We have to do this like in a matter of seconds here? Like normally you'd have like focus groups. And...
Totally.
That's the title of the Pilsner. Really? We got to do this in a thing? Normally you'd have focus groups for this kind of shit. There. So we got a title for a Pilsner. Okay, now to balance out sort of like the 4 or 5 core beers, the third one has got to be probably a what? A brown ale. If we've had an IPA and a Pilsner,
What about
maybe a lager.
barley wine? What do you think? Barley wine. They're not getting any love.
Whoa!
What a barley wine! Right, number 3,
you
barley
don't do a
wine.
barley wine with your beer number 3.
Actually,
You gotta wait. Does that gotta wait for like beer 5 or 6? Like,
I was actually thinking what we want is an Irish stout.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Oh,
Sure.
actually, you're right. Yeah.
okay.
Julian has tightened up our title. Focus group Pilsner.
That's beautiful, actually.
And oh, by the way, he also said this: Guinness is fantastic and has hardly any hops. That's a good point.
That's true.
So beer number 3 is an Irish stout. What is it called?
Something really inappropriate.
You could put CBD in it and call it Blarney Stoned.
Blarney Stoned. All right. That would work.
That's
That would
very
work.
much in keeping, I think, with the general tone of things these days in the beer world.
Okay.
Home stout.
All right. So
I was thinking what we could
group home
do.
stout.
What we could do.
No. We might style it as a Jamaican stout and just up the alcohol content, but add CBD and call it Blarney. Call it Blarney anyway. It'd be an Irish Jamaican.
Okay.
There we go.
What we
Beer
could
number
do-
4.
what
We have
could
an
do-
IPA, a Pilsner, and an Irish stout. What's number 4?
what you got to do is, because there's a lot of Irish stouts out there, you need to make your Irish stout somehow different from everybody else's. So what I suggest that we do is we do a Canadian rendition of a Chinese rendition of an Irish stout and call it, I don't know, Jack Lee's soy sauce.
No. If you're gonna do that, you just call it Black Dragon.
Oh, yes, Black Dragon.
Okay, Black
Straight
Dragon.
from the
then.
Orient.
All right, beer number 4. Beer number 4. What style? What comes after Irish stout?
I think it's got to be a lager or a pale ale.
Ooh, pale ale. Yeah, okay.
Pale ale.
I can go with that. All stouts are measured against Guinness, apparently, and
Yes.
which is why Beamish
Thank you, Julian.
looks taller than
so okay.
an
So
Irishman anyway.
okay. So I've totally lost my train of thought. Beer number 4. What's the style?
I think it's got to be a pale.
We got to go for 5. We have to have 5 in the overall.
Oh yeah, right. Okay, so like a wee heavy, yeah.
Ooh,
Be heavy. Okay. Yeah. All right.
but we can't call it that because somebody else calls theirs wee heavy.
No,
This is true.
wee heavy.
You mean like a Scotch ale?
It's a Scotch ale, right? So, what do we actually? Oh, we have to link it to Star Trek, I would think.
Well, I was thinking beer number 5 would like to Star Trek, and we'd call it like a synthahol kind of thing, or we call it Romulan ale.
Made with real synthahol.
Yeah,
Okay.
that would be our no alcohol version.
How could you have a no? Actually, I guess
Which nobody would
Well,
drink.
a non-alcoholic beer, we'd make it, but we'd say it's got synthahol in it, and we get all the Trekkies to buy it.
I'm actually curious. Is
Wait a minute.
synthahol?
We call it
Here's what we-
Guinan's Pale Ale.
Here's what we could do. We could do fortified beers. Yeah. I mean, you remember the thermonuclear penguin and all that shit. Yeah, I mean, sure you can do ice beers that have crazy alcohol contents, but in wine, it's for centuries it's been normal to add brandy to wine and create sherry or port, some sort of fortified wine, right? Fortified beer.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could you? Okay, now this is getting kind of off topic here. Could you? I mean, I'm sure you can't, otherwise it would have been done by now. But could you dehydrate beer to make like something like you can sell it in like a small quantity dehydrated, and then you take it home and you can add water to it, like Kool-Aid, like beer Kool-Aid or something.
Perhaps.
I think I broke everybody's brains.
No,
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
Sorry, I got distracted by the synthahol comment, and this is what I just found. Alkosynth. So this scientist, David Nutt, is trying to create. This is from 2019, and he's trying to create synthahol.
Huh. Cool.
He's basically trying to replicate what Star Trek claims they have created in the future.
I think you should try for like transparent aluminum first.
Yeah, exactly. And his prediction is that all alcohol will be gone by 2050.
Yeah, that's right.
No.
He's incorrect about that.
So
It's
we're
like
basically
the
you
internet
can replace it with.
So everybody's going to burn their books. Yeah, no, it does that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, alcohol is natural. It's been with us forever. It's deeply woven into the fabric of society. But
it's not society that makes it happen. It's nature that makes it happen.
Exactly. But he wants to make it so that there are no hangovers, and that's somehow easier on the liver.
Yeah, well, that's not totally crazy talk.
It isn't, but I kind of wonder, whenever we start getting involved in stuff like this, what are the long-term side effects? It's like, yeah, are you gonna grow a vestigial tail, or am I suddenly gonna have antenna? After 25 years of drinking this stuff.
Fort Knox IPA. Because calling beer heavy is shaming the ale. So basically, wow. I don't know. What more can you say, boys and girls?
So if we're going to start making beers, we need to come up with recipes. And for that, I think we need Eddie Van Halen on guitar.
Yeah, that's
You missed the boat on that one, my friend.
Yeah, he's a bit dead.
Yeah.
Just,
Sorry, it was a building
bit.
business and adventure.
you could always get his
Eddie
son.
Van Halen on guitar.
Yeah. But we need to come up with recipes, and then we need to find a brewery who will lease us brewing time to actually make our concoctions for us, and then we can put it out to market.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's how Fuggles of Warlock got started. They didn't have their own brewery. What they did is they licensed other breweries to brew their product for them, and then they put it out to market. And they grew their business that way until they could finally afford their own facility.
Imagine if I bought that piece of land in Nokomis. We could have started a brewery there.
We could have.
We could have brewed so much ale.
The booming metropolis of.
Well, what we could have done is we could have gotten installed cannons and shot them at Nokomis brewing, and
Cannonball
a hostile
brewing
takeover.
Just like true Saskatchewan pirates.
Yeah.
Hey, Ali, are there Saskatchewan pirates? There are? Okay, good. Just making sure.
It's probably a minor league baseball team.
So it sounds like Julian is not on board with Synthahol, but there you go. I think that's too bad. Which now, correct me if I'm wrong, but Synthahol is an alcohol substitute.
It's a psychoactive substance.
It still does get you drunk. You just don't.
It's
fall over.
fictional.
Potentially, you could add it to your beverage. You got your martini, a little Synthahol.
So let's get something straight here. Synthahol is a fictional thing.
No, I know, but I'm just saying that
it's not real, guys.
I know, but I'm curious about what it actually
it's
supposed to
actually nothing.
do.
Is what it is. It's a Gene Roddenberry concoction in his brain.
Okay.
There are no holodecks. There is no.
So okay, so here we go. So
nobody's making it
apparently,
so.
They in Star Trek lore, it's a substitute for alcohol without intoxication, addiction, or poisoning. So there you go.
It's water, is what it is.
Basically.
Pretty much. Was not popular until the 24th century.
When everybody. Yeah, right.
If this is the ugly girl next door with that has a good personality, and Synthahol is, I don't know what it is, but
he's
it
a
makes
hollow.
us
He's
look
a
like a rock
hollowback deck. A holodeck girl.
Ooh, Klingon ale.
Klingon ale?
Make a red ale and call it Klingon,
Call it the
Klingon.
warrior's drink.
Yeah.
With prunes. There would be prunes in it. Fermented prunes.
Mm.
It sounds like there's something they might already have tried in
Probably.
Well,
regular.
don't forget the Federation of Beer did actually make Klingon beer called Warnog, a
right.
Danish Roggen Dunkel. Now, I don't remember. Did Federation of Beer actually last? I don't remember when they came to Beer Fest.
Yes, I do. I do remember that. Was that what it was called, though?
They had Warnog. It is. I don't know if they're still around. Something tells me they're not. Because really,
They weren't from BC. I remember they were from another province. I just don't remember.
Airdrie. They're from Airdrie, so I'll just north of
Airdrie.
things. So, yeah. So apparently, it doesn't look like they're around anymore.
No,
but they did.
I have a feeling that Airdrie is not really into craft beer. Locke, would you agree with that?
Oh, I don't know. No, Airdrie is hard to describe unless you've seen it. So,
I've seen it.
Yeah. Okay. So the thing you need to understand about Airdrie is it didn't exist a decade ago, or at least not at all the way it exists now. Like a decade ago, it was maybe a few buildings and a gas station. Today, it's a suburb of Calgary. The number of people that have arrived randomly in Airdrie in the last decade means that there's no way of telling who those people are. It could anybody could end up in Airdrie. The problem with Airdrie is it's not been around long enough for there to be anything Airdrie about it, except the fact that you've got all these strangers suddenly all in the same place. I'll tell you what does go on quite a bit in Airdrie. So one hears is wife swapping, but not that I've experienced any of that particular supply.
We are the Borg, and this is our ale. Lower your shields, raise a glass, and surrender your taste buds. This is the most advanced black ale in the entire Delta Quadrant, created with dark Munich and black malt. This strong dark ale is sure to satisfy your biochip. Resistance is futile.
I want to try that Klingon Imperial Porter.
Yeah, me too.
You remember that show Northern Exposure?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
I think that's what it was called. The doctor goes to like small town Alaska or something.
Yeah,
that reminds me of Airdrie.
Yeah, more.
When I went there, it was like the roads were paved but covered in dirt. Everybody drove like a big honking, like dual tired truck.
Yeah.
With the balls hanging off the back of the
that's right.
hitch kind of thing, and it was like I felt like I was on another planet. Let's put it that way.
For a Victoria boy, that would be a little weird.
It was really weird. Like, I mean, it's like Langford times like a million.
Well, yeah, I guess that's right. Yeah.
Mind you can't say that about Langford anymore, but
yes, you can about certain parts of it.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. There's still houses in Langford that have like stock cars, up on blocks on the front lawn.
Sure, but I think 20 years ago that might have been the norm. But
speaking of which, Western Speedway, which changed its name this year to I don't remember what, had its last races.
Where cars go round.
Yeah, had its last races this week, and it's getting shut down, and it was sold off, and it's going to be developed.
Turned into condos and box stores, probably.
Yep.
Woot!
Yeah.
That kind of sucks, but I mean, the thing I will miss about Western Speedway was the water slides, which I think have
been long gone.
Eons. But that was, and I think I saw a few tractor pulls there with my dad a few times. But I mean, it doesn't surprise me that it's going to be redeveloped because it's
I went out there recently. Recently, I would say like maybe about 4 years ago, when my kids were playing youth sports. They would get to go out, and one of the coaches actually was had a car and was driving it in the races, and he would invite the kids out. He would provide tickets and stuff, and we'd go out there and watch. It was kind of fun, but I mean, you could tell that it wasn't very well attended, and it was pretty amateurish out there. But end of an era. Too bad.
It is sad.
It is. But there's still racetracks up in Cassidy, I think. So.
Where the hell's that?
That's in Nanaimo-ish.
Well, I mean, it could be worse. It could be a golf course. I suppose. Turn it into a golf
That close to Bear Mountain? No.
I'm not sure that's the mayor's style. I think he's more about the box stores.
So you're saying that I'm in this virtual room or whatever, I am the closest thing there is to a golfer.
Well, look at the hat. I mean, totally. You just put on some checkered pants, and you're looking like.
Checkered pants.
Yeah. Speaking of which, where are you streaming from tonight, Locke? You look like you're in like the lobby of like a Japanese restaurant or something.
No. This is my den.
Oh, okay. You have a den.
I have a den. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Moving up in the world. Nice. And I'm liking the shirt. I'm loving the Iron Maiden shirt.
Nice.
And you would have to wear that out on the links, by the way.
Oh, totally.
That's just a
It's the
given.
rules. I mean, how else could you tell? I mean,
And Locke would have to. I think he would have to play with a Scottish accent.
Totally.
Yeah, especially right.
On that note, boys and girls, it is that time where we go and drink more beer quietly behind the scenes. And we'll be back next week with whatever the hell beer we decide to have. Maybe the Pile of Bones white IPA, I think, might be something interesting to try. But don't forget to tell people about the show, because, otherwise Alan will cry. And you don't want Alan to cry. He's an ugly crier. Like, he's like, okay, so if you don't subscribe or tell people about the show or follow us on Twitter, you'll make Alan cry. And you don't want that, because
he'll come over to your house and cry at you so fucking hard you'll start crying.
On that note, good night, everybody. See you all next week. Bye.